Welcome back to Cloudbuilt. This is part 6, and this might end up being the finale. Here's the plan. I'm going to play through as many of these levels on this path that I can before I just stop being able to. And then I'll do the final main level. It's called My Inspiration, I think. This was called What's to Come. And that'll be it. That'll play the final proper cutscene. Thing is, I'm worried that this level might also trigger one of those final cutscenes, but again, it might not though, because I swear I can see the silhouette of another stage after this. But then again, that one might play that cutscene. Well, regardless, you guys are probably just going to see 2 ending cutscenes back to back or something, you know, like as a neat little bonus. Who knows, like time paradox, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't really matter too much as long as you get to see them in general. I've never claimed that my playthroughs are like super 100% like thorough. Like, we're gonna see every single thing. I'm dead-ass skipping certain levels, you know what I mean? Because I'm simply trash, and I'm not good enough to play through them and beat them properly. And it wouldn't really be fun to watch me basically have, like, 2 seconds worth of actually saying anything and the rest just being pure concentration, you know? I'm sure there's, like, speed runs and 100%, like, actual playthroughs of this game out there, despite it not being super popular, you know? So, this is just because it's fun, okay? If you're watching this, that's because you enjoy watching me play a video game, not because I'm particularly great at it, you know? There's the kind of guys who are actually really good at games, and then there's me. Ow, fuck. Okay, at least we got that checkpoint, though. I know, I mean, I like to think I have genuine skill in some kinds of games. Even to an extent, this is a 3D platformer. It's a little different from what I'm used to in my 3D platforming, but, you know, when I really enjoy it, I do want to try and get good at it. So, oh, for fuck's sake, I just ended up looping back around. Okay. I guess we gotta go... Oh, of course, we go up there. What else do we do? Okay, let's try it this way. Avoid the... Yep, there's the one part with no spikes. There you go. Oh, God, what do I... Oh, of course. Just follow the arrows, dum-dum. There you go. Boom, done. Ah, man. So what were we talking about? Well, actually, that was the last part. I can't really go back into a topic from the last part because that would be really weird because that was a couple days ago as far as you guys are concerned. So what else do I talk about? I don't know. I don't like Glover. There you go. That's something to talk about. I've been trying to play it. As I think I already stated that in the last episode. I wanted to do a playthrough. I'm like, no, it's going to be a focus on B. And I'm going to talk about why I don't like it. I'm not going to give away too much right now, but I mean... I don't know, you know what I do like about it though? The fact that it feels like its art direction and music and stuff, it feels like I'm playing that initial, like, early version of Mario 64, where it had a much more distinct art style, and I still have no idea why they changed it. Like, really, why did they make Mario 64 look just kind of, I call it generic cartoon realistic. Like, it's a cartoony sort of game, but it has all these almost real-looking texture. I mean, you know, they're trying to be real. For as real as it can be on N64. But initially it had an almost Paper Mario-esque look to it, to be honest. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I had a feeling that would happen. You know? And it's like, why did they ditch that in favor of... I mean, the game doesn't look terrible or anything. I mean, it's a fucking N64 launch title, but I do genuinely find that beta version more appealing. And it's not just because, oh, it's because it's the version that didn't come out, so you think you want it. No, literally, if it had come out, I would be praising it. You know, I'd be like, oh, fuck yeah, I love the way Mario 64 looks. But now I'm like, oh... Yeah, it's okay, I guess, you know. But Paper Mario is still one of the best-looking games on the platform. I mean, it's kind of hard for it not to look amazing, considering its art direction, and the fact that it'll age beautifully, you know, like it will never age, basically. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes with those kind of things. Although it's really interesting to think, like, what if we lived in an alternate universe where the beta of Mario 64 ended up being the final, and everyone would be going apeshit over the final, like that we have now. They'd be like, oh god, Euclidean horror! Look at the original Princess Peach's castle, it's so different. It's like, there is something kind of disturbing looking, though, about those early environments. It's just like early 3D in that way. I can't say it's intentionally... you know, the developers didn't want it to be scary or anything. They were just like, fuck, we need an environment to test Mario in. So that's what we did. We made an environment to test Mario. I don't know why we obsess over that kind of stuff so much, but at the same time, I totally get it. I think I've talked about this I think it was in my Croc video, where I talked about how I'm low-key obsessed with Ura Zelda, just because I have no idea what's up with that. Don't get killed there, come on. Fuck. There you go. Oh, and I've fallen. Oh, I've fallen, but I'm still alive. So let's see if we can salvage this situation, alright? Let's kind of platform across these things that weren't meant to be platformed on. Oh, you dick. Oh, for fuck's sake. Alright, time to reset. At least I have my custom checkpoint. There you go. Just gonna keep moving through. But yeah, so it's interesting how just something not being released like, you know, I'm really upset that I recently found out that 40 Winks actually was genuinely released in 1999 for the PS1. I thought it was one of those, you know, mystery, cryptic, weird games where, like, it was supposed to be released in 1999, but then it wasn't. But then it was released more recently. It's like, no. That game actually was released in 1999 for the PS1, and that's arguably the better version, actually. The N64 version has some ridiculously impressive-looking real-time animations. Like, insanely impressive. But no, it kind of took the magic out of it. Oh, for fuck's sake, why'd you do that? It took the magic out of it a little bit because I was like, oh, it's that weird unreleased game. No, it wasn't unreleased, actually. You know, there was supposed to be a 3D Mutter game, you know, Earthbound, on the disc drive. Oh, man. Is that going to be like my new obsession, like the N64 disc drive, the games that could have been? Because imagine, I guess the N64 disc drive was supposed to be a competitor to the Dreamcast, because that's what the Dreamcast is, really. It's like, it's got slightly better graphical prowess than the N64, but it also had discs like the PS1. That's why it was so awesome, you know? So I guess that would have been, like, the disc drive would have been, oh, I put a checkpoint down right at the end of the level, but it would have been like the answer to the Dreamcast, sort of. You know, it came out around the same time, whatever. Let's see what she has to say about this level.
I wish I could send a signal to the people outside, those who are watching over this process, that I've understood and that I'm ready. I'm not afraid to become more than human. I'm not dismissing these visions as fantasy or nonsense, but accepting them and completing my training regimen. Can you see this? Are you watching my mind? I confess I still have doubts. Sometimes when I return to the room, I feel like the gap between this world and the one I knew is too wide. What I can do here should not be possible. It confounds me, but I'm overcoming those doubts, and I hope you can see it. I believe in the future. This future.
So, this right here, I can tell you because I'm from the future, is so far, the only skull-rated level I've been able to beat. I just completed it. Yeah, it really wasn't that difficult. It shocked me, honestly. In fact, it was really fun. It had a lot of that kind of platforming challenge that I adore in these kind of games. And that's speed. You know, it's speed-based challenges like this. Like, you know, like this. I just love Sonic, okay? And you know what's funny? Sometimes I feel like I have some sort of problem when I say that, honest to God, like, Sonic the Hedgehog is probably my favorite piece of fiction ever made. Like, I adore it so much. Like, the games, well, specifically the games. I don't care for the lore and the comics or the... Even I'm gonna get killed for this, but... not even the music always gets to me. But it's the games themselves, you know, most of them. I can't, like, say that, oh, yeah, Rise of Lyric, dude. No, of course not. But it doesn't take much for me to enjoy those kind of games. It's just because of the core gameplay. I love shit like this, and to be fair, Sonic's games are very different to this, but I just love fast-paced platforming, really. But, like, really fast-paced platforming. Done in a very particular way, you know what I mean? Badly, am I right? No. Self-deprecating humor is not funny when it's almost legitimate, but, no, because, like, I like Rayman, you know, but I only really love Rayman Origins and Legends because they remind me so much of Sonic, you know? What else do I really like? I like the Mega Man X games more than the classics just because they're faster paced, right? What else? I've been meaning to... It's been years, but I've still been meaning to try out Dust Force. That game looks really fun. Just really fast-paced games like that, you know? But interestingly enough, I'm not... you probably already know, I'm not the biggest fan of Donkey Kong Country. And, well, I have some reasons as to why, like, for example, the fact that it's hard for me to tell where the fucking characters are on the screen, but even, like, the ones where it's not so hard to tell, like the ones that are actually rendered in 3D, like the Returns games, even with those, it's like, fuck, I don't know what it is, but the particular energy, the weight of the characters, you know? Like, when I'm playing, like, a Boo-style Sonic game, it's like, I'm the happiest I can ever be, you know what I mean? It's just pure bliss. It's amazing. And this is similar, you know, doing all these boost jumps and stuff. It's like I feel like I'm just playing the kind of mouse-driven Sonic game we pretty much, I believe we would never get, but then Frontiers happened, except, well, Frontiers is clearly optimized around a controller. There's lots of camera assistance, which I think you can turn off. It is, ooh, nice little shortcut, look at that. It is mouse-driven, like you can totally play the game with a mouse, you know, on PC, that is. Maybe you can plug a mouse into like the PS4 or something. I don't know. Remember when like there's like 2 games on the PS3 that actually let you that's not gonna work. That let you use the mouse and keyboard properly, like Unreal Tournament Free, I think, did that. That's such a weird thing in my head because it's like you're buying a console specifically because you don't want to do, because like everyone owns a computer. It shocks me when I see people say stuff like, "Oh, I don't have a computer." It's like, well then, what the fuck? I mean, I'm not like shaming or anything, because computers are generally cheaper than a lot of other things, you know? At least where I live, you can get a pretty decent PC for way cheaper than, well, for one, a console. Oh, definitely not a console. Those things are so overpriced here, you have no idea. But even other devices, like a tablet, you know, like my parents, I had a real hard time convincing them when I was a child to get me a tablet, because for some reason I wanted one really bad. Because it's like, we already had a computer, what's the point? And they were right, you know. We did not need a tablet, but they somehow got me one anyway. And I was obsessed with it. I have no idea why. I used to be so obsessed with, like, tablet technology back when I was a kid. Just the idea of touching the screen, it was like the coolest thing, and now I'm just like, I don't want that. I want a fucking keyboard. I want a mouse. You know? And you think it's just like the boomer in me, but no, I grew up with that shit, you know? If anything, it's like there's gonna be a whole generation of whatever the next input device is. I don't want to say because I don't want to date this video. Look at this. That did not take long at all. But it's like whatever it is, and then like we'll be nostalgic for what we're using right now. I don't know. Let's see what our character has to say. It might be a secret ending. It might not be though. We're gonna find out. And exactly as I suspected, you guys are gonna get 2 different endings in this video because because an ending cutscene just played, you know, as I predicted it would. So I'm not gonna play it right now because again that'd be kind of weird to have it play like halfway through the video. But this level is definitely gonna trigger another one of those ending cutscenes, and so we're just gonna get, I don't know, 2 of them. I'm gonna probably edit them together with, I don't know if I'm gonna do some cringy like transition or it'll just fade to black, you know. Just be tasteful about it. I feel like I'm a little, at this point I've grown out of the whole like, oh, let's have it like get cut out from this thing and then make it zoom into this other. It's like, fuck that, let's just have it fade. You know, it takes less time and it's generally in better taste, you know. That's why my older videos used to take so long to make, because not only were they scripted and all that and voiceovered, but also the fact that I would just go fucking crazy with the edits, and really it got bored. It got tired, you know. It got boring for me to do. And I'm sure it got boring for you guys to watch as well. It's like, we get it. You know how to use the pen tool in Sony Vegas, you know. It's not that big of a deal. So anyway, we're pretty much, yeah, making our way to the end of the game. There are more levels, but they're, I imagine they're of the so hard that no one's going to have a good time involved variety, you know. So, I think we're just not going to do them. I did a single skull level, and that's good enough for me. I feel accomplished. I feel like, yes, I did a skull level. That means I'm like, okay, but I don't know if I'll be able to do the rest. I tried this other one, and it was fucking impossible. So, yeah, there's a reason why they're not 100% mandatory. You still get a relatively satisfying ending from just, you know, from just clearing what I imagine are like just the main story levels, if that makes sense. And of course, there's like basically infinite levels, because I think there's like there's a my levels section, so I'm assuming there's a level editor. We're not doing that, of course, because I mean, why? I don't want to sit here making levels. Although maybe I'll try using it at some point. I don't know. And there's also, I forgot to show this off, but there's a practice area. You can actually hit practice on the world map at any time, and it loads you into this like test map looking place where you can just kind of run around and stuff, and you know, it's just a practice area, so it's kind of neat that that's even a thing in this game. Ah, man, feels weird. I thought this game would take longer to beat, but it's really not that. I mean, of course it's an indie game, you can't really expect to be super long, but still, I imagine its longevity will be a lot more considering its custom level support, you know. I'm just speaking based off the fact that there's a my levels section. I'm assuming there's custom levels. Maybe the level editor is an external tool or something that you have to download separately. I'm not sure. Or maybe it's just built in. I have not played around with that at all because, I don't know. I like making stuff, you know, like videos and music and random shit in Photoshop, but I don't like making stuff for video games for some reason, other than like occasionally, oh, let's open up the Unreal Engine and place a block down and be like, oh, look, I made a thing. I made a deathmatch map. I'm so cool. But that's about it. For fuck's sake, that checkpoint was such a waste. Whatever. Still, this level isn't super difficult, and it's gonna be a shame sending this game off because I really, really like it, but, you know, you gotta move on to other things. You can't stay on one game for too long. This isn't Forsaken, because that game was fucking long as shit. I did not expect to need that long to beat that game, you know? Because that's what happens when you have such long levels and a lot of them, you know? That game ended up taking up 15 parts. That might just be my longest playthrough. And it was the first one I ever did, you know? It was crazy. And I recorded most of it in like one session. That was before I learned that you gotta take breaks with this shit. Now I only record like 2 or 3 episodes at once. And my head just fucking hurts like hell. I've been feeling like shit this whole day, and tomorrow I got essentially work. I'm a fill-in, basically. A fill-in teacher, but like, it's still work, you know? So that's gonna be real fun with this awful headache, but fuck it, I'm not that old, I can't be feeling this way right now, come on. How do you think the people who have been doing this shit for a living? Both things, you know, both being a YouTuber and also teaching, you know, both those things for a living. Oh, Josh Strife Hayes can confirm, I thought he used to be a teacher, actually. Yeah, of course, because I know he watches these videos, so, tell me, what was it like? Did your head hurt a lot? I'm sure. Fuck. Damn it, okay. Yeah, I don't even have my volume turned up that loud. I don't know. But either way, we're pretty much done, though. Like, I just can't stop right now because it's like, we're so close. You know, this is basically endgame. Again, with the way that this game is structured, I can't really say it's the real end of the game. There's obviously a little bit more content to do, but I'm not gonna do all of it because it's just extra stuff. You know, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm a huge stickler for, like, the intended progression of a game. You know what I mean? I very much demand that I play through things the exact way that the developers wanted me to, which sounds kind of like a fucking joke. I look at those videos that it's like, playing this game the way that they intended it to be played, you know, by following some shitty strategy guide from, like, 20 years ago. And I hate those videos, to be honest, because I don't get the appeal. It's just like, yes, you're playing the game according to the way that, not the developers actually, I mean, yeah, sure, they say Nintendo approved or whatever, you know, it's bullshit, right? Like, they probably just send like you don't even get like the main developer, I bet, to do that. I'm speaking out of my ass right now, I have no idea. For all I know, maybe the people who made the games themselves actually write those. They don't, of course, but, you know, they just put that in there to sell more copies of Nintendo Power and such, right? It's crazy to think that used to be a thing. Like, people used to buy game magazines, you know? I mean, there's still game websites, tons of them, absolutely. But the concept of buying a piece of physical media like that is just so foreign to me, you know? And, man, I almost feel like a bit of a fraud, because, like, I've been playing video games my whole life, but I don't have a single, like, bit of game merch in my house, you know? I have, like, this one glass cutout of Sonic, from Sonic X specifically. It lights up and stuff. It's like, I don't even know if it's official. It's probably not official. I also have, I fucking hate myself for this, but I have a Funko Pop of, look, it was before I knew that Funko Pops are garbage, alright? I was like, how old was I when I got that? I don't know. And you know, we got it from like a trip to some foreign place, like a real country in the real world, in real Europe. So it's like we couldn't really not get it, you know what I mean? Wow, that's how we're gonna end this playthrough, huh? Oh, fuck! He's gonna get me. Okay, I'm gonna give my final thoughts on this game, as I always do, over the credits. Enjoy the final cutscene, and then after the credits, enjoy one more final cutscene, because that's how I'm gonna structure this, alright? So I'll see you guys with the credits.
I can feel the integration process nearing its conclusion. The room somehow feels warmer, and the wind outside has started smelling vaguely of hospital air. I might just come back to my senses soon, and I'd be lying if I said I'm not going to miss this place a bit. It feels like I've been saved by a person I left behind and forgot I'd been. I haven't had dreams about places remotely like these for years. The kid who gave me this inspiring world seems to have caught up with me, just long enough to tell me what I needed to hear. Now I'm leaving her behind again, waking up. But she wouldn't want it any other way. She'd want me running, jumping, and climbing, and to get started walking that long road the moment I wake up. The sooner I know my limits, the sooner I can push them.
I've always considered the concept of a platforming game to be something done best on consoles. Not necessarily for their controllers or specifications, but just because the best games of that kind always seem to land there. Cloudbuilt hasn't changed my mind on that, but what it has done is shown me how the best qualities of PC and console can coexist. Mouse and keyboard allows for effortless controls, yet the level-by-level structure is very arcade and appeals to my love of single-instance games. I was concerned that this would be another open-world parkour game with a big, boring nothing to run around in, but instead, we get a set of cleverly designed platforming challenges which are addicting to replay and master. It's refreshing for a game like this to not really have a story, but more so a layer of context that connects the levels together, even if there's no real goal or ending. The graphics, though a bit over-stylized, do the job and help make these challenging levels almost therapeutic to exist within, especially when combined with the limited but well-done soundtrack. Cloudbuilt exceeded my expectations every step of the way and has become one of my favorite games I've played all year, seriously. Thanks for watching this short series of BK Play, and I'll see you guys next time.
Something about waking up this time felt very real for a brief moment, before I recognized where I was. Maybe it means they're starting to bring me back, or it might just be that I've gotten so used to this world that it meshes perfectly with my understanding of what the future will be like. Either way, I know I'm ready. I'll have many questions, but most of them seem trivial now. Why conceal the deployment of military cyborgs from the public? Why reveal it to me in a dream like a prophetic vision? There's no time for those questions in this world, and there will be even less time once I wake up. Sooner or later, I'll get answers. The only question that really matters is whether they'll continue on with this charade after I wake up, acting like it's still all about rehabilitation and a dignified life as a veteran. I could keep pretending for a while, but eventually it would simply get ridiculous. Sooner or later, I'll just have to confront them about the issue myself.